ready for another episode of the Maverick Makers podcast. This week we have the amazing Lisa Campbell, founder and CEO of Mr. Frank's Kitchen. She started the company to honor her dad's legacy. He had a restaurant in Niagara Falls for many years called the Copper Rail Lounge. She took what she learned there, took his spices, and created an amazing company. Lisa has over 20 years of experience within the restaurant industry, is an experienced founder with a demonstrated history of working in the consumer goods and food industry. She was a competitive bodybuilder and skilled chef, and now is an avid humanitarian. Lisa managed 3 fine dining restaurants such as Rockefellers in Virginia Beach and several Tuscan Oven restaurants. You're gonna love this episode. Get ready to be inspired. I am so excited for this episode of the Maverick Makers podcast. We have CEO and founder of Mr. Frank's Kitchen, the lovely Lisa Campbell. Just a quick précis. Lisa and I met on LinkedIn, and I just started following her and got to know her company and her spices. And then she was kind enough to send me a bunch, and it is a game changer. So I have up-leveled my cooking, and let me tell you, my family is eating the food now. So thank you, Lisa, and I am so thrilled to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm super thrilled, and that totally just gives my heart a happy hearing that. So appreciate it.
Good. And yeah, the Mediterranean spices are bar none. They're all amazing, but so far that's my fave. So
That's awesome. It's a good seasoning for sure. I
yeah.
can't wait if you try it in the other stuff, but you'll have to let me know.
Oh, lovely. I can't wait. So let's start with the first question, which is, you say that people have called you a maverick before, and what does that word mean to you?
I've been called that my whole life, to be honest with you. I've never been one to follow the crowd. I tend to run from the crowd, and I don't swim with the fishes. And honestly, I just like doing my own thing. And just quieting the noise and listening to my inner gut and doing what I feel is right. So yeah, just doing my own thing.
Perfect.
Carving my own lane is how I like to put it. I just really like to carve my own lane in life.
Love it. Amazing. Well, we're very like-minded. I can already see that. And are there any trailblazers or mavericks that you particularly emulate?
My dad.
Hmm.
Absolutely. My dad was, I, my everything, and I don't want to cry because I totally will. Yeah, he came from nothing. He started from nothing. His story is incredible. His legacy is amazing. And same thing, he swam against the current, and just really proved everybody wrong. And I'm just so incredibly proud to carry his torch forward. So I got big shoes to fill, 100 without a doubt.
Beautiful. And again, I totally get it too, because as we were talking before we hit record, my dad was my inspiration too. So I love that you've built this amazing company in his honor, and I'm sure he'd be so proud of you. So awesome. And that brings me to my next question is, how and why did you start Mr. Frank's Kitchen?
Okay, so obviously Mr. Frank is my dad. He had built an incredible restaurant in Niagara Falls, Canada called Frank's Steakhouse and Tavern. It's still there today, mostly part of it. It's called Rockefellers in the Falls, and it's an incredible restaurant. But dad had created this seasoning for his steaks, and like he had live lobster tanks and like trout tanks. And so he would do like the seafood butters with his seasoning. And it was just super, super good. And I always wanted to bring it to market. And so he passed away in 2008. And, I was standing in TJ Maxx, and there was like a stainless steel shaker. I still have it. And I just had that aha moment, like, because that's what my dad used in the restaurant was a shaker. And I was like, it's time. So, he's absolutely my inspiration and, why I'm doing what I do.
I love it. That's amazing. And what were you doing before Mr. Frank's?
I was a chef. So I spent 15-ish plus years, 20 years, teaching people how to cook healthy, eat healthy. I spent a good chunk of my life as a competitive athlete and bodybuilder, and just learned a ton about nutrition and, clean eating. And so, I that's what I did. I had my own personal consulting business, which I loved. It was fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You have lots of people to teach, including me.
Yeah. It's part of my mission.
There you go. And what was it like growing up in the food industry?
Oh, it's super fun. I mean, you learn a lot, and I had a pretty snobby palate as a young kid, so it was cool. It's just my dad, and my mom too. She was an incredible cook. They taught me everything I know, and you know, uh, I remember walking. We were traveling. My dad would walk into a restaurant, and he'd be like, "You guys wait here." And we'd walk in, and if he could smell by the grease, he could by the smell of the restaurant if the grease was, fresh or old. And I do the same thing now. So, it was cool. I got to experience a lot of great cultures and different foods, and we traveled a lot, which was fun. So it was amazing. Yeah, it was fun.
Amazing. I love this. And why are you so passionate about clean eating and clean food?
A couple of reasons. So, I said I was a competitive athlete and bodybuilder. So I broke my leg skiing. I used to race when I was a kid. So I was 15, almost 16, and I had a really bad racing accident and broke my leg in 4 places and shattered my elbow and my cheekbone and all that. And, I had a friend who taught me how to be anorexic bulimic because I was on crutches for a year. So I struggled with that for a little bit through college, and then I was like, I just needed to get a hold of it, and I started the path of bodybuilding, and a friend who introduced me to it, and just understanding the fundamentals of the importance of clean eating and food, and what it does for your body and your mental clarity and your energy and all of that. Like, that's a huge part of why I do what I do. And then the other part is just the health, of our country is just on just such a decline, and it has been for years. And I remember I was sitting on Jones Beach, 2001 or something, and there was a really obese little boy, and I just wanted to make a difference, make a change, and do my part. So, those two reasons, just helping people, understand how to eat healthy and cleaner and cook cleaner, and it's not that hard, and it doesn't have to be super expensive, just the fundamental understanding of it.
What's the biggest lesson, do you think, in clean eating? Because there's so many people that just, might be terrified of, like, maybe it's a cost barrier, or maybe like, what is the sort of mindset change that you want people to know about?
There's so many misnomers, that like companies put out information that are just not true. Whether it's, this study or that study, and this fat is good for you, and this carbohydrate is good for you, and just really educating yourself or learning about what food does, and then what works for you personally and individually, because everybody's an individual. So I think the most important thing is just getting an understanding of the food itself. And I come in and I help you, put it together. I just make it easy. But it's the understanding of, like, a complex carb or a simple carb or a good fat or a bad fat, and what works for you.
Awesome. And what is Mr. Frank's mission?
Uh, so I have the schmaltzy line, like, we make cooking fun, simple, and easy again, and delicious. And that's the thing. Like, I have blends, so it's an assortment of flavors, and it just makes things easy. Like, and it kind of takes the mystery out of it. And it also makes it a lot more cost effective. Instead of having to have like 8 or 12 ingredients, you have 1 or 2. So the mission is just really to get people having fun in the kitchen again, and not be, I think with COVID and a lot more people were cooking and having to cook at home, it kind of made that mission a little bit more important. And it's kind of what I leaned into, and it's, we've had a great response with it.
Well, I'm loving the spices. I told you I'm re-inspired again in the kitchen, so that's exciting.
Thank you. I love that.
How can spices change a meal, good or bad?
That's the $1,000,000 question. So, that's so one of the things that I love is I don't have a sweet tooth at all, but I have a salty, like, I'm a salty, crunchy person. So, it's, it can either make your meal taste amazing, or it can make it taste like crap. Like, it's it's whichever. And I think one of the things that I love the most is like, again, with the blends is that, encompasses an assortment of flavors. Like you like the Mediterranean, so you're getting tarragon and lemon and tomato and, roasted garlic. And it's like a culmination of flavors. So, like I said, it can make it really good or it can make it really bad if you don't like the flavors. So it definitely enhances it. That's the one thing. I'm a big flavor person. So I'm not like, there's a lot of chefs or people out there who are like, we only put salt and pepper on our steaks. I'm like, why? It can taste so much better.
What is your definition of success?
I had a really good friend, Chef Tony Biggs of Certified Angus Beef, asked me this last year. And honestly, when I can contribute and donate my spices to Jose Andres of World Central Kitchen, like to me, that will be the pinnacle of success. When I can give back and contribute to something that is so incredibly important and helpful and needed in this world, that's when I'll feel successful. And I know it sounds cheesy, but that's really, that's where my heart is at.
And you're going to get there. I looked him up. He's amazing.
Yeah, he is. He's incredible. He's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. We didn't really talk about your story, like in terms of your journey and how it kind of started. So just quickly, Reader's Digest for people that may not know your story. If you just give us a few key points. And what I want to bring it back to, what we talked about, is the importance of resilience as a maverick and an entrepreneur. So maybe we could tie that in.
Where would you like me to start? Like, how much time do you want?
Yeah, just start with, how you really, got started, the bootstrapping, how you had to rebuild your company a few times, and just walk us through that.
Sure. So I started in 2016, a single mom, 2 little kids, had this great idea in mind, never done like a business at this scale before. And I was like, I'm just going to get everything into retail. And so I had brought on a business partner who turned out to be extremely dishonest and tried stealing my company and stealing from me personally. And so, 2018, I had to completely reset. In the States, my business everything had been in Canada. Reset here and got into distribution with big distributors and retail and got into the big stores, and I was doing really well. And then I always say I got super disenchanted with the greed of the retail sector and the distributors, and made a really big decision end of 2022 to literally undo everything I'd spent 7 years building and pulled out of retail. And so I completely pulled out and reset Q1 of 2023 and started pushing into the food service and other manufacturers. So yeah, it's been a haul, but like we talked about, resilience is key. And I always say, like, if you believe to be an entrepreneur and being a founder, like you just have to, live, breathe, sweat every single day for it. And, so that's where I'm at.
Love it. And I know we can't say it now, but I know there's some exciting news on the horizon. So look at that amazing, the grind and, picking yourself back up and brushing yourself off, and whether it's through life, business, whatever challenges you're facing, and look where you are now. And it's amazing. And I can't wait.
Thank you. The resetting is hard. I mean, it's without a doubt, but you have to quiet the noise, like I said. And this is where not paying attention to what everybody else is doing or this person's success or that, like you just have to like stay in your lane and just have this myopic tunnel vision. And, just keep pushing. So my friend always said I'd make an awesome Navy SEAL. He's like, I've never seen anybody more tenacious than you. So, I take that with pride.
Beautiful. I love it. And here's a fun question for you. So you can cook along with 3 famous chefs anywhere in the world, wherever they might be. Who are they and why?
Okay. It's Gauffier, like the king of all sauces. I've yet to master some of the French sauces. So that would be, and he's just he was and still is just an icon. Uh, Julie Childs,
Mm.
because I think she'd be just freaking fun to, like amazing cook. And she like, emboldened and just reinvented American cooking and cuisine. And I think she'd be amazing to drink with in the kitchen. And then Jose Andres, because he is my absolute idol. Like, if there's anybody I could be when I grow up, it would be him. So those three, without a doubt.
Love it. Sounds like a
Yeah.
fun kitchen. I want to be there.
Right. For sure.
Awesome. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Sure.
All right. So what it is,
Okay.
instead of quick fire questions, whatever comes to your mind, just say it.
Sounds like a bad speaking game.
Okay. Good. All right. So I already know the answer to this one, but we'll do it again. So ready? Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Awesome. Last thing you are eating on Earth.
Oof. Chicken wings.
With your spices. I love it.
A little wings.
Mountains or lake?
Mountains. I'm a big mountain girl.
Beautiful. What's one thing people don't know about you?
I'm super shy. I'm super shy and super introverted. And I have to be like this, for business, but oh my gosh. Yeah, no.
You're doing amazingly well. I wouldn't have guessed that. So awesome.
Yeah.
Favorite movie of all time?
Oof. Oh, I know it sounds super cheesy to say like The Notebook, but that's honestly, no, honestly, there's a story behind that because my son is a Pisces like I am, so he cries over everything and I absolutely love it. So every time my significant other goes out of town or something, Shay'll be like, Mom, can we watch The Notebook? So it's just kind of a special thing for us. So
I love it.
I know it'll kill me.
Oh, and Ryan Gosling's Canadian, so props to that. And Rachel McAdams.
Right.
There you go. Amazing.
All right.
What's written on your tombstone?
She definitely lived and fought to her last breath, without a doubt.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice you have ever been given?
Okay, so when I was going through a hard time and going through a gnarly divorce, and my neighbor Susan Schmidt, we call her Auntie Grandma. She said to me, she said, "Kid, Lise," she said, "just every morning put your feet on the ground and breathe." And I'm gonna cry. She said, "Before you know it, like you'll get through that next day, and then you'll get through that next day." And sorry. And she said, "Before you know it, it'll be a week, and you keep breathing, and that'll be a month, and then a year." And so that's what I've done.
Beautiful.
Did not expect that. Sorry.
That's okay. Beautiful. That's wow. Well, that's an amazing neighbor. And what amazing advice. And it is. And it's back to that resilience piece. It's back. If you're an entrepreneur, just a human being in general, it's about just not giving up. Just head down, feet on the ground, keep going because tomorrow's another day. And back to cliches, as much as this is a cliche, but I'm any fan, and I'm always like, the sun will come out tomorrow. It's crap.
Yes.
It will. Like there's no other way. It will. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
How do you want to change the world?
One meal at a time. one chicken Mr. Frank's at a time. I do. I just want to, spice people's meals up and make their food happy and fun. Like, and then again, if I can, be involved and donate and do and give back and reach back. I want to be able to be at a point where I can really reach back, and help those behind me. So.
Beautiful. Last question. You ready?
Oh, don't make me cry again. My God.
I love this question. You're going to have to, I guess, carefully answer it. But what's next?
Oh, a really big horizon, like things are good. There's a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. super blessed with the incredible people that are sitting at my table currently, who have gotten behind me, because they believe in me, and the amount of support I have, the village is just amazing. So the sky's the limit, man. Like, yeah, I got a lot ahead. We got a lot ahead.
Amazing. And I
Yeah.
can't wait. Again, I want to tease to it. That's good. Lots of great things cooking, some
Right.
big things, which is
But I'm
awesome.
fine.
Exactly. Well, I just wanted to say thank you. And I love that there's a photo of your dad behind you. That's just beautiful. And your mission and this amazing company that you've built, and the products speak for themselves. So thank you for bringing the inspiration to my kitchen.
I
And
love that.
thank you for bringing the inspiration to everyone listening and watching. And honestly, I am there for it. Let's
Awesome.
get next.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
The Maverick Makers podcast is sponsored by Maverick Makers Content Creation Collective. We fuel your content pipeline through video, photography, design, and editorial. Let's connect to your audiences and make more sales. Learn more at maverickmakersco.com.